welcome to another episode of Retake. I'm your host, Lisa Dwan, here with a nominee for the Best Esports Host in Canada, Parker.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Didn't win.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But we the face of a nominee.
Well, people do call me Dad, and some call me Daddy.
Hey,
Just happy to be here.
Yes, we're so proud of you. You do a great job. Distracted by noises, but it's okay. We're in the city. It's fine. But we have another exciting episode, and as a nominee for the Best Host, why don't you tell everyone what's going to be on it?
Well, we're going to actually be departing from our usual North American focus. We're going to be looking at Europe and Latin America. Courtesy of Siege GG, we got some stats, some numbers to crunch over the best player/players of all of Brazil. And then we're going to ring up Mr. Leon Giddens, none other than the fine Englishman from Rome.
That's right, such an exciting episode. But there is one thing I want to talk about first. I noticed the internet, in the community was very angry of recent.
They usually are.
They usually are, but this time there was a specific thing. Everyone was mad about the new ping system. So, but you know what? I don't really get it. I didn't really get it. So why don't we break it all down in this explain?
And there's one spotted inside.
Surely he will. Oh, he's already
all the rest of the work. He hears the shot through the
He only
barricade.
needs to land a single bullet, and he must know that at this point to get to a close-on engagement.
Rainbow Six's latest operation, Shadow Legacy, has thrown plenty at players all at once this season. With a new operator, new optics, and a chalet rework, fans have been quick to voice their hottest takes on just about everything. But one change has caught some major buzz, and not necessarily in a good way. Let's take a look at why a ping, of all things, has divided the R6 community. Ping 2.0 is Ubisoft's newest system to help players make better non-verbal callouts to teammates. The goal was to build on the existing Z ping, or Z if you're American, to add a little more context when your mute-ranked teammate throws out random pings all across the map. First up, Ubisoft added numbers to each ping to correspond with the players on your team. If you're player 1, your ping will have the number 1 on it. Very handy. On top of that, the pings are now contextual depending on what you're trying to point out to the team. Gadgets, equipment, and the diffuser all change the ping icon to match what you're trying to point out. You can also ping your own equipment for teammates to see when you're on attack or defense. While there's not too much controversy around those changes, the next one has kicked off a bit of a storm in the pro scene. Ubisoft introduced direct Z pinging on drones and on cameras with the Ping 2.0 upgrade. Previously, the drones could only scan enemies with your X key, revealing their locations to your team with a red marker. The trade-off is that your opponents know that they've been scanned, and they can hunt for the camera or drone that's revealing them. With the new ping system, though, players can quickly give away enemy locations without having to scan them at all. This scanning without actually scanning method can be incredibly effective, and it lets you close in on your opponents without them having a clue what's coming. Several pro players expected the Z pinging on cams and drones to be disabled, similar to how points are turned off in the pro scene. The new ping system has already come into play in a handful of pro matches. In this clip from the Russian Major League, an unaware Mouser gets completely exposed by pings, making him an easy pick for Rush from Windstrike. We even saw it indirectly in the NA League last week when Slash hit a hard wallbang on Tempo Storm's Mark. While the intentions behind the new system are to help casual and ranked players make better callouts, freely pinging has negative impacts on pro play. Yellow pings offer no downside and have no effective direct counter other than to find an offending camera or drone and take it out without knowing that you're being pinged in the first place. Since the TS launched, Ubisoft is holding firm on Ping 2.0 for now. However, in a balancing update before Stage 2 started, the developers did mention that they would monitor the impact the new ping system is having on pro matches. Until then, we'll have to see the true impact that the new Ping 2.0 system will have on gameplay, professional or otherwise.
He only needs to land a single bullet, and he must know that at this point.
All right, Parker, what do you personally feel about the new ping system?
Oh God, I have a lot of thoughts.
We got time.
I think it's good from like a casual sense because there are a lot of people who play who might not own a mic. Maybe they're not the most confident in the way that they sound in a country or countries in Europe. people speak different languages. You can't always communicate with your teammates. Pings are universal, that's good. But when it comes to a competitive sense,
So I think when reading the discussion about this, everyone just like, why don't you just put a separate system for the pros and then have one for the casuals? Let the casuals use the pings and everyone will be happy.
I think it should be close to the same game.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think that you can gradually chip away at some of the things that are there to assist the newbies.
Yeah, like me.
Like you.
I'm scared of playing this game because it's really hard.
Like me as well. I also am awful at the game.
Really?
Yes.
Nominated for the best esports host has probably with the game?
I talk about it, I don't play.
That's fair.
Also, I didn't win.
I have to apologize. The first runner-up is
Parker. We love you, Parker. Okay, we heard your opinion, but let's hear the opinion of someone else and call up Rogue's Leon Giddens.
We've got one of the top performers in all of Europe here. Leon Giddens isn't so great. Are you kidding me? You look great. How are you doing today, Leon?
I'm doing good, Parker. It's good to be here, and you know, it's been a long time since I've heard you say that, so it feels good.
I feel like, yeah, the last time I would have casted you outside of LAN events would have been many, many moons ago. And
A year and a half ago, maybe.
let's start off with your performance in Stage 1. Rogue finished atop the European standings, but then didn't have the greatest result at the Major. What do you think changed for your team in comparison to your play outside of the Major and then in the Major itself?
Compared from the EUL to the Major, I think it mainly was just burnout, honestly. We kind of, like, half the team kind of expected a break to come along, but half the team didn't. So obviously, coming towards the end, people had two different mindsets of wanting to grind and not getting ready for a bit of a break. So we kind of had to clash and just keep pushing, which I think overall pushed people too far. Because, you know, we've been scrimming 6 days a week, 2 times a day, with 1 day breaks most of the time. So when it came right towards the end of the hurdle, people just weren't mentally there and ready to play.
Now, you're a relatively new addition to that Rogue roster. This is a team that has always been near the top of the European standings, but they made 2 big roster changes. They bring in Karzeka, they bring in you. How was it transitioning to a new system, given that you'd been on Secret for so long?
I'd say it was a lot easier than I expected to switch to Rogue from Secret. Obviously, Secret was the only real team in Tier 1 Siege I actually played on. So it was kind of uncomfortable and kind of new for me, which was also kind of fun. But yeah, it was really easy. Obviously, I get along really well with Rips, Aces, and Corey already. And obviously, bringing Rousty in as well from Secret made it a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Did you have expectations that you would finish in the top of EUL, given the fact that Rogue was making the switches, that you were coming in or back into Tier 1 Rainbow Six after being with Secret down in Challenger League for so long?
I always expected the team to top the charts. Obviously, we have a lot of potential. Everyone in the roster is insanely skilled and talented, and everyone's really motivated as well. So coming into it, I think everyone was confident, and I was confident in us. But I think I think we did better than I anticipated. Obviously, the first game against G2 we lost, but after that, it was pretty much a clean sweep till the end.
What are your expectations for Stage 2, given how you performed in Stage 1?
I'm still expecting us to come at least top 2. I still think we're on top of the game compared to other teams, and I'm just expecting us to carry the momentum from EUL back into the next stage of it.
Now, Ubisoft and FACEIT have announced that the EU Major that was supposed to take place in the fall has been reverted to the same system of inter-regional majors that we saw earlier just last month, or 2 months ago technically, I guess last month, because it's almost October. Goodness gracious, where's the time gone?
Yeah.
How is your team going, let's say you make it to the Major, of course, how is your team going to ensure that you don't fall victim to that same burnout and end up bombing out of the Major for the second time?
I think we'll change up how we structure our schedules after the stage is done, and if we've qualified or not. We're going to take the right amount of time we need to take off and make sure everyone's refreshed before coming back into it and making sure our minds are set on the Major and the Major only.
As somebody who's been around Europe for a long time, were there any real surprises coming out of the region in terms of which teams did well, which teams didn't do well, and then individual performances too? Were there any players that you think fell off the map or exceeded the expectations that you had on them?
I expected Empire to do better. I feel like their season was rather underwhelming. I know, like, over the seasons they've filled down a little bit, but I feel like this season really hit them hard, especially with Joystick as well. I think he's one of the players who normally stands out quite a lot, but he was really quiet for the first stage. And I think hopefully they'll fix their issues for the next stage.
If I were to put you on the spot and say, looking at stage 2, a lot of people considered Virtus Pro making it to the major a bit of a fluke based on the way that the standings and some of the matches broke. If I were to say, outside of your team, what teams do you think could surprise us in stage 2 and make it to the major?
No, I believe Na'Vi will definitely make top 4 this time, at least. I feel like with the roster changes they've made, I think that will push them to where they want to be. And I also believe, it's hard to say, but maybe, like, I'm going to go over hot take here. I think Secret are going to come top 4.
Really?
I think Packball and Shate have actually made them a lot better, and I think that they'll find where they need to be and top of some of the teams they should have beaten last half.
Well, Leon, it is always an extreme pleasure to get to sit down to talk to you. Thank you so much, and all the best in stage 2.
Yeah, I can't wait to start the new EUL stage, and thank you for having me on today.
Bosco is certainly no stranger to the six-pack, especially when he pulls off plays like this. Up against E-United in a 2v2 on Clubhouse, Bosco pulls off this impressive clutch despite a major disadvantage.
Just as I say that, though, Alfama gets scared away by a Nitro Cell. Rexon punishes Fultz, but the timer is so low that Alfama's going to have to get in and play the objective. Where is he as we see Bosco in a 1v2? We call him the clutch master. He takes out the Zofia, just needs to waste time. He sees the thermite and gets it! What a play from Bosco! And it's match point for Space Station.
Incredible play there from Bosco and Fultz. A huge round to take for SSG. And we're going to go for a rehost. For those of you who don't know, which is everybody, I've just been whispered in the ear by production. Apparently, during that entire clutch, Bosco had been experiencing a gun sound bug. That's the one where you're constantly hearing a gun firing. So effectively, at least I think that's the specific one. Effectively, Bosco didn't have sound in that clutch, and he won it anyway.
Laxing is a fan favorite for Oxygen Esports, and it's easy to see why. When he pulls off a monster 1v5 ace like this one against Temple Storm, how can you not love him?
Sea of Blue yet again. Tempo getting all the kills. 4 just in the last few seconds. Laxing at least gets 1 trade for himself. Let's make it 2 as he takes out Jarvis, but he's got a lot more work to do. Still 3 more players alive. He's already onto his pistol. He's gonna swing it 2. Gets another one. Let's make it 4. Laxing, what are you doing right now? He's gonna try and clutch this. The only hard part of this is he needs to realize that Mark is still above him, but the good news is he's denied the plant. He can play this on time now and just let it run out, and that's exactly what he's not gonna have to do as he comes in, shuts Mark down on the drop, and gets the ace on top of it. Amazing play from Lax.
This isn't Uno's first six-pack appearance, and it certainly won't be his last. Trapped in a 1v3 against Rogue in the German Nationals, Uno barrels back onto site in the smooth retake.
For the Strongs. 20 seconds left. A 2 versus 3 here for Rogue. Can they make this round work? Are they going to actually be able to get their way onto the site and shut down these final 2 remaining players? The nuisance maker himself is taking no nonsense into this round as he will be dropped out. Corey removing him, but that is a sickeningly good shot from Uno, all on his lonesome as he finds the first, adjusts for the second, and he's picking them to pieces. He's just got a game off the diffuser. It won't matter anyway. He turns the corner, absolutely slaps him. And that's the disable coming through. That is a clutch.
We featured Raps as one of our top rookies so far this year, and for good reason. The Brazilian's been pulling off some crazy plays this year, but this ace clutch is one of his best.
We've got 60 seconds remaining. There's been no more casualties, no more damage, and not really much information given over to W7M. They're going to start to test their luck, though. Oh, and that wasn't even lucky. That was just skill, Tim. That's a beautiful frag there. Straight into the cranium of Lukid, dropping him down to the ground. There's a follow-up as well. 2K picked up, keeping the game close, though. 2 versus 3 with 40 seconds remaining. It goes down to 1 man. Raps on the Melusi, trying to make a bit of a monstrous move. Cuts his way through Pedrin, but can he clutch it?
Surely we are not going to see a 1 versus 5 to open things up. Raps gets panic. Oh, this could be a first round ace start. The diffuser is on the ground. This is Guy versus Raps. This is Thatcher versus Malusi. The advantage right now stands with Raps. He has the diffuser at his feet. He can watch an angle. He sees the man coming. He takes shots. They will exchange. Not enough damage will be done. Guy on half health steps out, and Raps will get the kill and finish the ace with the impact nade. Huge beginning for W7M, but Team 1, they are equal, or at least Raps is.
This next one comes straight out of the Canadian League, and it's a perfectly played clutch. Eska from Altiora nets himself a big 4K, but Nordic's Lackey nets a quad of his own with some 200 IQ play to get a huge round win.
Not the players. Poppy Skies might actually be able to get this play down, and yes indeed, it looks like he will. The Pulse distracted by Storms, and Altiora now needs to retake into the site. Now they do have a strong man advantage, but that might not matter. This is still a very difficult retake. Eska gets Poppy Skies. Lackey, though, crucially will eliminate Spirits. That's Lackey's position known, and he'll be an easier target to pursue. And as Storms gets eliminated, it's all on Lackey. He'll need to ace if his team wants to win this round. That's the 3rd kill. Now he needs to deny that diffuser from being disabled. As luck would have it, he's a sledge, but he doesn't actually acquire the target. Sees his opponent, doesn't land the shot, and it doesn't matter because Altiora steps off as they see the tracers. Sound will give away intent here, and Lackey will react. It might not matter that Eska got that final kill, though, as there's only 3 seconds. A beautiful clutch there from Lackey, and Nordic will put this on match point.
Let's polish off another 6-pack with the major winner himself, Mint. Looking to hit match point against the Sonics, Mint pulls off this quad kill clutch and tosses Susquehanna off the site.
Iconic gets his 2nd big kill as he entries, but Mint will shut him down with another for him. Beautiful job by Mint. Now Super's trying to come up from White Stairs, and as Hyper gets eliminated out by VIP Hall, it's all on Mint. He's going to have to drop a quad to win this round. Now, 20 seconds remain. The attack does not have diffuser. Super on big window repel. EE1D perfectly timed, allowing him to repel in, and the pre-fire as well, but there's a C4 to deny. We're going to have to see Gomfi shoot this mid-air, and he will. He gets it. So the plant goes down. Mint gets his triple kill, and he times the peak perfectly as Super eliminated Mint with the quad kill, and DZ will take the round.
That's it for this week's 6-pack. We can't wait to see what else Stage 2 has to offer.
Since joining the pro scene officially in year 2, Brazil has produced dozens of top-tier Rainbow Six talents. With a new global system, the Brazilian scene hasn't slowed down one bit. Several players quietly became some of the world's top performers in Stage 1. Here's a look back at Brazil's best players from Brasileirão Stage 1. First up on the list is Palu, Siege GG's #1 player for Stage 1 in Brazil. Team Liquid's Fragger was unstoppable in the first stage. He was Brazil's top killer, hitting an unfathomable 67 on the kill-death split. To put that into perspective for you, the only Tier 1 player outside of Brazil to get a KD split even close to Palu's was Hysterics, all the way over in APAC. Palu also had the #1 rating in Brazil alongside top KD. He claimed 3rd in cost and 4th on the entry throughout the stage. Despite a 3rd place exit for Team Liquid in the Brazil major, Palu was still one of the event's top performers. He finished with the highest KD, a 74% cost, and 3rd overall on opening kills, outpacing his entire team by a landslide at the major. During the stage, however, Nesk's stats nearly mirrored Palu across the board, making him a narrow 2nd best in Brazil. Both hit 191 kills each in Stage 1, with only 3 deaths separating the two. Nesk and Palu also tied on overall kills per round with .99. Nesk snagged the #2 rating, tied for 2nd on entry frags with a 38 and 22 split, and he tied for 5th highest cost. Unfortunately, he and most of the Liquid squad couldn't keep up with Palu at the major, and the team fell to FaZe in the losers bracket finals. Team Liquid weren't the only Brazilian squad with a dynamic duo, though, with Pino and Musi lighting it up for NIP. Much like Nesk and Palu, the pair in pajamas were back-to-back on the team scorecard throughout Stage 1. Musi and Pino finished the stage with only 0.01 separating their ratings, the third and fourth best ratings, respectively. The two ninjas were also third and fourth for KPR and kill-death ratio, with Musi again narrowly passing Pino in both. Where Pino really surpassed his teammate, though, was in the entry and clutch categories, going plus 18 on opening kills and coming away with 4 clutches to Musi's 2. Musi widened the gap at the Brazil Major. SiegeGG's MVP pulled off a wild 1.41 rating, the second highest KD, and tied for first in entry frags. Pino played fantastic in his own right, earning himself an exceptionally valuable player award during the championship run. The two accounted for more than half of NIP's kills throughout the major, and were the only ninjas with positive KDs on the way to winning the grand finals over rival FaZe Clan. Much like APAC, the Brazilian scene can get overshadowed by the NA and European scenes at times. However, with players like Nesk, Palu, Pino, and Musi, they proved that Brazilians are still some of the most elite Rainbow Six talent worldwide. With such a fantastic start to the season, we'll have to see if these four still have some gas in the tank for Stage 2.
Let's do some Six posting. If you haven't seen this before, this is where we share and react to some of the things that the community have been sharing and talking about.
Favorite part of the show.
Yeah, it's my favorite part of the show too.
It's our favorite part of the show.
I don't like that. I didn't like that. Okay, first one comes from Space Station Gaming. They took a moment on Twitter to flex some of this. They shared their rings. I don't know. It's just the ring, okay?
Space Station, they're going on a trip in their favorite. Job to do that. Rampy down below. Will he be able to stop this in time? He has an impact grenade. There it is! Ground control to Major Tom. We've got ourselves.
Ooh, shiny. It does look really heavy though. That was my first thought.
It looks like it's not cheap.
Which is good.
Because a lot of esports awards look very cheap.
Really? Are you a fan of rings as like trophies in esports?
I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I think they can look nice. I like personalized things. Instead of just like, you get a glass plaque. Hooray. No, I like when it's actually for the players, and these rings obviously fit.
You're right. They have their names engraved in it and everything. That's really cool. But then it would make it hard to pawn it off. I guess
they could sell it when money gets tight.
When money gets tight?
I'll give you like $100 for it, dude. No.
Moving on, for those that have been living under a rock.
Good morning.
Sam Fisher's now in the game. Zero has arrived. You obviously are very absurdly excited, like almost too excited.
What's exciting?
Let's take a look and check this out. This one comes from none other than Ghoul from the Crypt. And it's a possible elite skin idea. There's been many that have been shared, by the way. This is not the only one.
Yes.
But I think a lot of them have been pretty good.
Yeah, this one in particular looks very slick, clean. Yes. Anyways, that's it for this show. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials at Watch Retake. Parker, tell them to follow. Go.
Follow us.
You heard him. All right, we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Canada's Best Esports Host nominee.
I lost. I'm a loser.